Hello everyone, this is Eric and I'm doing another playthrough here with Findali. This time I'm in Tol Falas. It kind of reminds me of Amansul with all these skeletons here. This is the final dungeon of the beta right now. From what Dark God says, this is halfway through the game as he plans it. There will be another continent. And so this is kind of exciting that I've gotten this far with Findali. This is the first time I've ever been here when I'm not trying to unlock a ghoul, which, by the way, I just did before I started recording this audio, so I will be able to try out a ghoul race sometime. I have to be very careful in this dungeon because it is like Amansul, but on steroids. I do some I use sense a lot. I use vision to find the stairs as quickly as possible because I don't want to be in here very long. It's a very dangerous place for me. There I accidentally did a phase door instead of a vision spell, but there's a ghoul. So when I unlocked the ghoul, I was diseased, I believe. He gave me a disease, which I understand now why they have those potions of cure disease, because it does hit pretty hard. But the thing is, as a mage, you'll rarely be in melee range of a ghoul, so you won't get diseased. So there you go. And so I'm going down here. Tol Falas has nine floors to it. One new enemy in here, other than the uber skeletons, is the wights, which are kind of nasty in that they can confuse you so you can't act, and that could be potentially lethal if this is not a good room. If you're next to something that can kill you, it would be potentially lethal. And so I try a few spells. Nope, that's not killing him either. So I go out, I rest up, and I know that when I finish resting, I'll have a new configuration, which is not any better. An Emperor Wight and a Skeleton Master Archer are not nice. So I come back out. Yes, I'm stair scumming, but I don't know that there would be any way that I could beat that room configuration. It's just a death trap. So being very cautious here. There was enough ranged damage in that room, especially this room. This is even worse with those archers and the wight, that I decided to do it one more time just to see if I can get a better starting room configuration, because I wouldn't mind taking on that room if I weren't standing right in the middle of it. It's just a really bad place strategically. And about this point in the dungeon, I'm wondering if I'm a little bit too low level to do the dungeon. Not sure. I could teleport out, but this is a much more reasonable place to start, so I'm able to get through that. I see there's a lantern up there. I pick it up, see what it is, and use with the ever useful identify spell. Goodbye, ghoul. And so again, I need to make my way down to level 9, which is 2 levels deeper than the old forest or the maze or the sandworm lair. And I do something kind of cheesy here, or a few times I do this. They can attack me through the doors, and it looks like you can attack through the doors too. That looks like something that's not intended. But since every once in a while, ooh, stupid Master Archer, I will get surprised with enemies through the door. I suppose I don't feel too bad surprising them through the door. Oh, the other thing is, if you do that, you can get hit back, which happens to me a time or two. So they're not completely helpless. You just get the jump on them is all. Lots of elites, lots of master enemies in here, and traps that hit really hard. Really, really hard. In fact, I think the closest I come to dying in this dungeon is from a trap, a flame trap that its after effects were hitting me for about 40 apiece, so I get down to about 19 health. I do like, I saw in the forums, Dark God said that he would add something to the game that would show you where you're getting hit from, like a little particle shield. That sounds really cool and really useful because of skeleton archers and mages. Anything with range, basically, that can hit you that's not in your line of sight, and that's pretty awesome. I'm excited about that. I'm not too excited about the fact that I won't be able to play this character in the next beta, but since I beat the game already with him, it'll be, I think it's pretty good timing as far as that goes. Because, oops, oh yeah, the white confused me, and so I couldn't use any actions, and that can be quite deadly. But since the white doesn't hit particularly hard, I wasn't in any trouble, and there was an acid trap in front of me that I didn't know about that was killing the stuff. So that's pretty nice. So no thank you to Master Archer, or whatever that was. There's a skeleton. Goodbye, skeleton. And if I had a higher screen resolution, I would be able to see a bit more. That'd be very useful. But I'm on a kind of an old computer. It's about 6 years old, I think. It's not terribly old, but I got it when flat screen was kind of a novelty, so, or somewhat of a novelty. And so it does have a flat screen, but the graphics card's terrible. It's kind of ancient, and the screen resolution just doesn't go up very high. It does feel kind of good to... Oh, the other enemy is the vampires, and I'm not sure what they do, really. They rarely ever get within melee range of me in this dungeon. I know that Ghoul Kings are summoners. I assume that they summon the ghoul, the Z-type monsters, and those are pretty bad because they're summoners, and so I rarely let them have a chance to live for very long. So oh, here's an interesting thing that the white can do as well. That corrosive vapor spell, which I'm wondering if it's a good idea to level that up all the way. I'm not sure. Simply because I think I shouldn't have neglected Fire Flash spell in this playthrough. I got other things instead. But since I'm such a low level, I think, well, obviously since I was able to get through this part of the dungeon, at least this far, that my strategy was pretty good. As far as my talents are concerned, I mean, I'm able to kill things. It would be nice to have more spell power. Ooh, this is an awesome floor. Just one little room that I have to go through. Using line of sight on archers and mages is very important, where you make them come to you, especially when they're this, well, especially those two, because they're so powerful. And so, and they don't always come to you, as you just saw there. You can just pop into line of sight sense and just nail them. Oh, there we go. The ghoul. I'm very excited about the ghoul because of its stun resistance. Although it is a little bit slow, it looks like it's slower movement. So I'm not sure if it's necessarily worth it. It's not terribly too much slower, but stun resistance is something that's very important to have. I know a lot of my melee characters, or even my mage characters, if they get stunned, they can die